Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a beautiful 22nd of February, 2026. Come at this overdue podcast episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Aftermath of Tumblr, the gold medal game, and cowardly MPs, and some real stupid ideas. Oh my goodness. Listener and viewer discretion will be advised, because I will swear, smoke cigarettes, and make fun of the powers that be as usual. So grab yourself a coffee, a smoke, kick on back, and listen to the Crusty Canuck podcast. Be right back.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me.
Yes, sir.
There is no racial bigotry here. Here you are all equally worthless.
From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast, a Canadian veteran's point of view on political, social, economic issues, and life. Here's Crusty.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 395 of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Hope you've all had a decent couple of weeks. I know the past couple of weeks in our lives have been somewhat traumatic with certain issues and all that too. Just a reminder too, if you like and hear what you see, click like, subscribe, share this content all over your social media platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, do not be shy. Give a guy like me a hand out there too, especially when it comes to getting the algorithm working in our favor. There's just too many, how do you say, too much politics out there that's stopping our voices from getting out there and getting out to you in a timely manner too. So click that notification bell, all that stuff too. So a lot of interesting things have happened since my last episode, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I lost my truck. Yeah. And I lost my job. Maybe I should write a country and western song. I don't know. But if you feel like donating, please consider donating too. My last episode, I had a few people donate. Thank you very much. You wonderful people out there. You are wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. But keep donating if you can too. Just like and subscribe and comment if you can too. If you are going to donate, please use my PayPal link. It just makes things so much easier. That way you're giving me the money you want me to have, basically. Anyhow, carrying on with this episode. So almost 2 weeks ago, a devastating thing happened in Tumbler, BC. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to sit and try to censor myself. Innocent people were hurt and innocent people died. Okay, unalived. I don't care what the algorithm says, whatever, too. And I really don't care about the rights of the criminal. Now, we've all seen the footage of these police officers sitting there saying that it was a he, okay? It was a person transitioning into a female. Therefore, it was a male transitioning to a female, okay? Now, I don't care what troubles an individual goes through. The moment you have to pick up a pow-pow and start hurting people, there are bigger problems than just inconvenience, okay? Now, all the experts weighed in. Facebook lit up, Twitter lit up with people worrying about trans rights, okay? This is not an issue about trans rights. This is an issue about how transitioning is starting to mess with people's heads. Can we look at it that way? Okay? This is an issue dealing with people that are having their issues, and they compound more issues with more medications and more lies they hear from this and more lies they hear from that they're in the wrong body, that they're this and they're that. So basically, it's parts of our society fucking with kids' heads. Okay? That's what it is. Now, there are two people I have met during this podcast, when I started this podcast, that have actually transitioned into females. Okay? But guess what? Both of them are over the ages of 18. One of them I don't agree with politically. The other one I get along with just fine. But they both said in my episodes, they volunteered to become what they are today. They were not forced. They were not coached. They had some family that backed them up on their decisions, as any family member should. Okay. But they were not apprehended. They were not propagandized. They were not told they're in the wrong body. They figured out for themselves and how they want to live their lives. That's the power of being an individual, ladies and gentlemen. Now, being a teenager is screwy enough. Doesn't matter what decade you're from. Doesn't matter if you grew up in the 60s or the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, or 2000 to 2010. Okay? Regardless of how easier things have become in the name of convenience and communication, they're still missing key communication. Kids are still being influenced in a wrong way. Now, I can just hear some certain lefties buzzing about this. I really don't care right now. An individual took it upon himself to take a pew-pew and pow-pow innocent people. Okay? Predominantly children. That doesn't work with me. I don't care what ailment you have. I don't care what circumstances are in your life. You do not hurt kids. You don't hurt kids. Not little children, not kids. You don't hurt kids. Okay? There's enough wacko parents out there who have abused little boys and little girls over the years, who have done some heinous things. And when I see an overwhelming number of people worrying about the criminal's rights compared to what he did, that freaking infuriates me, and should infuriate you too. Okay. Now, there's still ongoing investigations about how he had access to firearms, because there was an issue with firearms prior to him. There was issues with his family, i.e. a very, very strong mother who is an activist, by the way. Now, I'm not dissing mothers. I'm not dissing women. Just some women and just some mothers that choose to be activists rather than parents. Okay. There's stories in the works about that too. I'm sure if you really, really want to know, ladies and gentlemen, what I've seen, I don't have the links with me here now, but it's quite disturbing. There's quite the story about that individual and his stepbrother, whose natural fathers were out of the picture, not because they were deadbeat dads, because mama just didn't want them around. Right? How many times have you heard that story? Okay. So I'm not disenfranchising any females. I'm not disenfranchising any females that love their children, but nothing says I love you like backing up your kids with their agendas, not yours. Okay. Too many activists out there, too many people trying to justify shitty behavior. That's what it comes down to. And I can just imagine what that teenage boy, not girl, was going through from the time he was 12 to the time he did that terrible thing. So you can dress up all you want. You can butter up all the poop sandwiches you want and say it's a souffle, when we both know the truth is this whole transgender issue, and it's becoming an issue right now. It's affecting people's psyche. It's affecting their well-being. I'm not disenfranchising trans people, but I'm getting sick and tired of the propaganda. I'm getting sick and tired of it being rammed down people's throats. People are saying love is love, and yet what's loving about popping kids full of drugs? What's loving about that? What's loving about lying to a little boy or a little girl because you think they might identify as something? Okay. I like to sit in a room with all these teachers and see what their logic is when it comes to how can you tell, right? Not only do you have to spend 4 years to become a teacher, you have to spend a minimum of 7 years, as far as I know, to understand psychology. So therefore, you're spending 11 years in an institution to learn how to teach and learn how to dissect the human mind, especially when it comes to a little kid's mind. How about you leave kids alone and let them be kids? There's an idea. Don't worry about the GUNs. Don't worry about the pow-pows where they come from. And don't worry about the subtle prejudice that some people see every day. Okay? Worry about the fact that this person committed a heinous crime. And let's not sidestep around the identity here. It was a he, living his life the best as he knew it as a female, but he's still a he. This is my left hand. This is my right hand. Okay, as I'm sitting here looking into my camera, it'll be opposite to you, but this is still my left hand. This is my right hand. Right? You don't have to agree with me, but I just told you the truth. You and I both know I'm holding up two of my hands. I'm not holding up eagle talons. I'm not holding up phasers or hockey sticks. Hands. This is my left. This is my right. And you can change the narrative all you want, but you and I both know the truth. And I think a lot of people know the truth, too, of what happened there. It was a disgusting... It was just terrible, ladies and gentlemen. And I feel bad for the families. And apparently there's rumors going around, too. Not rumors, but there's been some... podcasters out there that have said some family members of one of the fallen little girls, they had threats at the funeral or threats prior to the funeral. So I think there might be more of that coming as we speak, but I'll keep you posted on that probably in the next episode. But it's just the whole political spectrum of this shit show is just got to stop. Right. Innocent people were unalived. And for what? For what? Right? And the people trying to defend that kind of behavior? Shame on you too.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 395 of the Crusty Canuck Podcast, Aftermath of Tumblr. The gold medal game and cowardly MPs. Just a reminder, too, ladies and gentlemen, if you like and hear what you see, click like, subscribe, share this podcast all over social media platforms. Do not be shy, ladies and gentlemen. If you can donate, please donate. Like I said, I'm out of a job now. I am unemployed, laid off, but still unemployed. I could use your help. So if you find the kindness in your heart to donate a few bucks here and there, all the better. Please use my PayPal account if you can. Or you can join the page, donate there too. But keep in mind that the tubers, they get about $1.99 or $2 a shot. So donate with a sense of purpose if you can too, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a picture here of what happened to my truck. I was going to work on my last shift, and this is what happened. Yeah, I hit a moose. And this moose might have been about 800, maybe 1,000 pounds. Big bull moose, big hump and everything, just kind of sauntered across the road. I couldn't stop in enough time. There's my bumper there on the lower half. My bush guard pushed in. Headlights smashed. Radiator pushed forward. Hood damaged. The frame got compromised a bit. So needless to say, the truck is a write-off, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm out of a vehicle too. So I lost my truck, lost my job. Oh, gee. Give me an E and give me an A. It's got the making of a real hurting country song there, doesn't it? But try to keep my spirits up. All right, so my wife and I were looking for a vehicle right now, too. The insurance is going to pay me out about 10 Gs, thankfully. Well, it's about 9,600 round up. It's like 10 Gs anyway. But still, I'm in the hunt for a new truck, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm without for a bit. Like I say, if you want to donate. If not, that's fine too. I'll keep these episodes free. But still, it's up to you, my wonderful audience. Keep that in mind if you can. Anyway, carrying on this episode, the gold medal game. So Canada lost. Canada lost gold medal opportunity to the United States. Now, you'd be surprised how many Twitter pages have lit up and Facebook lit up over the anti-American sentiment too. I, for one, ladies and gentlemen, I am not anti-American. I'm not. I think both teams played very well. There were some referee calls I thought were pretty stupid. You know, there was a couple of high sticking calls that were called, and they weren't intentional. But in the same sense, I don't think they deserved a 4-minute minor. You know, an unintentional high stick, fine. Okay, call it 2 minutes in the box. That's it. But when I watched the game with my wife, it just seemed the American players had a little more drive to them. And I'm not kissing their asses, right? But I, for one, too, am getting so sick and tired of this false patriotism on our side of the border, right? Every time I see everyone saying, oh, you know, Canada's so much better, it's like, well, we have a healthcare system that was supposed to benefit the people based on our tax dollars and what we spend on healthcare. And yet there's still people waiting for hours upon hours to get their bones set if they're broken, or to even be looked at. So when it comes to our healthcare system, ladies and gentlemen, blame the politicians. Don't blame the doctors. Don't blame the premiers, right? Blame the people that make the decisions, i.e. bureaucrats that make people wait, and the hiring practices and everything thereof, okay? I hear a lot of federal ministers say, well, it's a provincial jurisdiction. Well, it's Canada-wide now. It's not just in Alberta or in Ontario or in parts of here or parts there. This is Canada-wide. The whole country's feeling this sting with our bad healthcare, right? So we got to sort it out, right? Excuse me. And it's not getting any better. It's not. You know, you can dress it up all you want, dress up a poop sandwich all you want, but it's not getting better, folks. So the gold medal game, that was supposed to be Canada's shining light, didn't happen. But in the same sense, too, I remember as a kid, you know, dreaming about playing for Team Canada. You know, the Canada Cup was in its glory. The invitational tournament, all teams that who could, you know, put together a proper hockey team, come play the Canada Cup as an invitational tournament. was always something glorious. And I used to love watching Messier, Gretzky, Lemieux, all the greats play in my time. Right. And I used to admire and I used to envy that. God, I wish I was there. I wish I was a better hockey player. Right. And then around the 90s, they got rid of the Canada Cup. So that's the thing. Too much influence in the game. Everything's corporate. Oh, okay. That's about to happen. But in the same sense, we can't get political over a hockey game. It was a well-fought battle, professional players playing again, and oh well. I'm not going to lose any sleep. It's disappointing, right? But the thing is, don't lose sleep over a hockey game. We got to start concentrating on how our politics is being run in this country, ladies and gentlemen. For one, I'm personally getting sick and tired of seeing MPs say some of the dumbest things and do some of the dumbest things too. Really stupid things, things like, groceries are high because of climate change. And that was said. And people like Melanie Jolie saying things about how, we're going to be an energy powerhouse. And yet they don't want to lift any restrictions when it comes to energy production in this country. Stupid things like that. And of course, immigration MP talking about bringing foreign nationals over to join our military. More on that after this.
Stay updated and follow Crusty Canuck on Facebook, Twitter, Gab, Telegram, YouTube, and Podbean. Subscribe today and donate at crustycanuck.ca.
And you're back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 395, the Crusty Up Podcast. I'm your host, Crusty Canuck. That's right. We need some changes here, ladies and gentlemen. Aftermath of Tumblr, gold medal game, and cowardly MPs. Just a reminder, too, if you like and hear what you see, click like, subscribe, share this podcast all over your social media platforms. Do not be shy, ladies and gentlemen. Get the word out there. Say, hey, this guy, Crusty Canuck, has a great podcast. Here, watch this. Just share alike. And especially to some people that I've noticed in my Podbean account, I'm hearing I'm seeing a lot of people download my show to Colorado, the state of Colorado. So thank you very much, Colorado. Round of applause. Thank you very much. And quite a few Californians out of the United States downloading my show. Thank you. I hear governor's real putz, but I'm not holding that against you. Thank you for downloading my show. And I've seen about 5 people so far, 5 downloads out of Australia. So thank you, my Aussie friends. Thank you. And thank you to everyone else that I did mention for downloading my show. I much appreciate it too. Give me a comment or two if you can, whether you see this on the tube or on the Podbean, anywhere. Just give me a comment, give me a thumbs up. Let me know you're out there. Let me know you're watching. And just let me know where you're from too, just so I get a rough idea. Anyway, carrying on with this show. So, stupid MPs. There is an interesting story that's been around since the 18th. And it's about 4 days old, but I'll just cue this up here too. Let's just say Immigration Minister of Refugees, Alina Metelij-Diab, said something on CPAC the other day that was quite interesting. Now, I do have the video for it, but I will give you the hard article. It's a hard read, but I'll keep it short and sweet, needless to say, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll leave this link in my description for you guys to follow at your own leisure. But it's just sad. The logic that our leaders have in this country when it comes to get things done, a simple thing like looking after our military is such a foreign concept to these people, right? Okay, so I'll just read along here, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with me here. Ottawa extends express immigration entry to researchers and military applicants. This comes from the Canadian Press and CP24 out of Toronto, right? This is dated the 18th of February. So Immigration Minister Alina Diab is adding 3 new permanent residency streams to Canada's express entry program that cover a variety of professions, including military ones. Dun, dun, dun. The new streams are also open to researchers and senior managers with Canadian work experience and are part of what Diab calls a federal strategy to attract top talent to the country. The new streams are meant to complement the government's $1.7 billion strategy to attract researchers to Canadian institutions. In a speech to the Canadian Club Toronto on Wednesday, Diab said the government's broader immigration strategy is to attract the best and the brightest while reducing the number of permanent and temporary residents being admitted to Canada annually or monthly, Right. The transport sector is also being targeted with express entry for pilots, aircraft mechanics, and inspectors. I see. So are you going to have the same logic when it comes to people who ride in the highway? Huh? Huh? Think about it. Think about it. Do you want the same kind of education flying aircraft in our skies? All right, I digress. We've identified these sectors or areas as critical in need, strengthening those help us move goods across the country and to new markets. Well, you got to open up the floodgates to have new markets, stupid. Supporting trade, supply chains, and economic resilience, Diab said during her address. Ottawa is also introducing a new express entry stream for, now pay attention here, Ottawa is also introducing a new express entry stream for foreign military applicants who have been recruited by the Canadian Armed Forces to serve as doctors, nurses, and pilots. Now, think about it. It's not just doctors, nurses, and pilots. It's also ground troops. Why is the federal government opening up the gates to bring in the numbers to our military? Interesting, eh? Paradise? I hardly think it's anything paradise. I hardly think it's anything worth our time. I think it's more like we're just too lazy to hire our own Canadians. We'll just open up the floodgates and bring more people in to look after our sovereignty. I'd be a little concerned about that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'll say this again. Ottawa is also introducing a new express entry stream for foreign military applicants who have been recruited by the Canadian Forces to serve as doctors, nurses, and pilots, and, of course, ground troops. Okay, they don't say it in this article, but you can tell they mean that. Okay, Diab said this will support the government's $6.6 billion defense industrial strategy announced last Tuesday. The new streams are in addition to one foreign medical doctor for more. I can't speak English today. The new streams are in addition to one for foreign medical doctors with at least 1 year of Canadian experience in the last 3 years, which was announced in the federal budget. Didn't we recommend that before the last few elections? To bring actual skilled practitioners into Canada. These new streams are being added to existing express entry categories for nurses, dentists, pharmacists, carpenters, plumbers, and others in the skilled trades. Strong French language skills will also continue to be an advantage in the express entry system as Canada looks to increase the number of Francophone immigrants outside of Quebec. See, that's the thing, though. A natural French speaker is going to be drawn to an area where he or she can speak French openly and freely, so they'll probably go to Quebec, right? Make a long story short. So let's keep this in mind, okay? I'll leave this article, too, in the description, ladies and gentlemen, for your viewing leisure or your reading leisure. But what's that say? I would say that is probably the most cowardly decision you can make. We got a lot of people in this country that are trained physicians. How many of those physicians were let go during the pandemic? How many nurses were let go because of the pandemic? Right? And now you're trying to catch up and you're just going to grab whoever. Okay? I'm not dissing immigration. I'm not dissing anybody who wants to come to Canada for a better life. But we've seen the news reports. We've seen what happens. We've seen the robberies. We've seen the home invasions. The big extortion kick they're talking about right now, too. Right? What's going on in Surrey, BC, or in Kelowna, BC, with all this extortion going on? What's going on? Right? And now you want to bring people who have some military experience back in their homelands. You want to bring them over here just to get the numbers up. Right? Here's an idea when it comes to our military. How about you put some fucking commercials back on television like they used to back in the day? Okay? How about that? Right? I guess you're too worried about what the NDP has to say when it comes to peacekeeping. Right? Did you guys see that debate? The NDP leadership debate? What a fucking shit show. Right? Magical fairy dust everywhere. What a joke. Right? Talking about public this and public that. Make everything public. What the hell is his name? That Avi Lerner? Is that his name? That old reporter from City TV back in the day? He wants to be a political leader in the NDP? Come on, Avi. Smarten up. At least fucking be a liberal or something, you commie prick. Like, what the hell is that? This whole panel. And I was sitting there and watching the debate, and I was just kind of like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Right? This whole thing about public this and public that, public banks, public grocery stores. You know, like, why did the NDP constantly try to promote utopia? It's not going to happen. Because the 20th century proved that those basic socialist ideas, those bullshit ideas, turned into full-fledged communism. And how many utopias came out of that? Honestly. Not too bloody many. Cuba is going through a crisis right now because that little state relied heavily on a former heavy state, Venezuela, to get their fuel, and they're not getting fuel anymore. So Mexico is stepping up and helping them out, and good for Mexico. Good for Mexico. Let them help the Cubans out. I don't really care, you know. And considering how our government was in bed with Cuba since 1968, why isn't Canada sending fuel down there? Hey. Don't want to piss off Donald Trump because Carney and Trump are basically like that, right? Now, to all my liberal friends out there who don't really like what I have to say when it comes to about Donald Trump, why is Brookfield headquartered in the States now? Why is Carney's investments and his interests based in the States? So if he's this big elbows up kind of guy, why hasn't he done shit to negotiate with Donald Trump on any kind of tariff? He's had since April of last year to do it. Why hasn't he done it now? So he's been the prime minister for the better part of fucking 10 months. And what's been done to help our cost of living? What's been done with inflation? What's been done with food prices? And no, it's not fucking climate change. It's not. It's idiocy. It's bureaucrats. It's bean counters. People that work in offices all goddamn day. People like the CRA. People like all these public officials that sit and have to harp about having to go to work for more than 4 days out of the week. Well, too fucking bad. How many Canadians out there have to work 5, 6, 7 days out of the week? Some days 10 hours, some days 12, some days 13. And when they get home and they pay their bills, they might have $100 or $200 left of their fucking name. And you're worried about having to work 3 days out of the week? Oh my, I don't understand. I have daycare. I have childcare. Join the club. A lot of people I've worked with that have little kids and they have to drop them off here and drop them off there. And then pick them up at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, or in some cases 5 o'clock. Take them home, feed them, read them a story, be parents. And then come Tuesday morning, do it all over again. In some cases till Friday, till Saturday. And some of these public servants are bitching and moaning because they have to work at the office 4 days out of the week. You have to work in an office 4 days out of the week. Wow, it must be hard, eh? Typing away, calling people up saying you owe us more money, or calling people up saying we're denying your claim. That kind of public work, you know what I mean? Right? So we got to start waking up and focusing more on what is going to be good for the country. As for politicians, I'm at a point right fucking now, ladies and gentlemen. I don't trust them anymore, but I trust you. Because I love you and I care about you. And I want the best for this country again. I want the best for my friends in the States. I want the best for my friends in Britain and that flag back there. I want the best for everybody around the globe as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not going to sit and break into song, go kumbaya. I'm just trying to be realistic here. But what is wrong with looking after Canada first? Hey? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with looking after Canada first and using common sense again? What is wrong with that? Nothing. Not a goddamn thing. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Crusty Canuck on this beautiful 22nd of February, 2026. I wish good things for you all. I hope you're all well. You know, cold weather is coming back, so bundle up, be sensible. You know, if it's miserable on the highways, just take your time, be courteous. Don't hit any moose. And just keep your wits about you, ladies and gentlemen. And like I always say, folks, humanity and merit wins the day. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Hit it, sweetheart. Because I am hard, you will not like me. Yes, sir. There is no racial bigotry here. Here
been another episode of the Crusty Canuck podcast. Stay sane and thank you for listening. From Western Canada, this is the Crusty Canuck podcast.
Well, smack my ass and call me Judy.